So with all that, I want to introduce our keynote speaker. As Sarah mentioned, the power of parents is kind of the theme here. And as you hear Nasha Fitter's story, I think you'll realize why we brought her here. We're always looking for people who can convey knowledge, but also give an inspirational message. And I'm sure we're going to hear that from Nasha now.
Okay, I think my mic is it working? You hear me? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone's awake and ready to go. So I am a parent like you, and the two things, I hate being stuck behind a podium, so I might walk around a little bit. I'm also very short, unlike some of the board members. So the two things that I hope to leave you with today is, one, a lot of hope, which I know can look hard on a day-to-day basis, but there is a lot of hope out there. And two, what could happen if you as a community actually work together? You could move faster than pharma, you can move faster than academia, you could do things that right now may seem unsurmountable, but if you work together, a lot is possible. So that's what I'd like to leave you with, and hopefully I do. All right, so who am I? My name is Nasha. I live in Menlo Park, California, in Northern California. I've got 3 kids, a husband who's still with me, thank God, a dog and a cat, although our cat is missing right now, which is causing a lot of stress. I do not have a science background, so when my daughter was diagnosed, like many of you, I was totally lost. I didn't know what a cell was. I hated biology in high school. My background was really tech. I was an entrepreneur. And like all of you, what we do have is who we were before the diagnosis happened. And you can actually use who you were and bring that into your new life and create a lot of change. That's what I'll show you today. What I've been able to do is, like your foundation, I've created a foundation as well, the FOXG1 Research Foundation. I'm a co-founder at Citizen Health. Some of you might have seen Mikkel's smiling face outside. And I'm also a part of the Buffalo Initiative, which is looking to help patient foundations fund research. All right, so this is my darling baby Amara. When she was born, she was our 3rd child. Completely healthy, completely lovable, started missing her early milestones, but you know, she was kid number 3. I had 2 kids under 4. I was like, hey, as long as she's kind of doing okay, it's fine. And everything was kind of fine. And then she started having seizures, right? She was having hundreds of seizures a day all of a sudden. And we all, you know, many of you here know what that experience is like. A few months later, we got her genetic diagnosis, and she had FOXG1 syndrome. She had a mutation in her FOXG1 gene. So FOXG1 it's really similar to Dup15q. All of our conditions within the neurospace, the symptoms are so similar, although the genes are different, right? So this is a single gene mutation. Most of our kids can't walk, can't talk. We have lots of medical issues. Again, this is not new to any of you. And there are no treatments as of now. Now, I think the thing that gets overlooked a lot is the impact on families. And it's very difficult on the child. It's also incredibly difficult on the families, right? And you all feel this. We're 24/7. We can't leave our kids alone. We're up most nights. Most of our kids sleep in our beds with our spouses. Like there's so much. It's hard to go on vacation, if at all. Our siblings, you get affected. So FOXG1 life is hard, and this is something that we all deal with, and it's extraordinarily overwhelming. Now, for myself, after Amara was diagnosed and I started going through this, and like many of you, I had to ask myself a couple questions. One is, do I want to be a victim of my circumstance? So I was devastated when Amara was diagnosed. As we were going through all this, I wasn't sleeping, she was having seizures, it was horrible. And there's so many days that the grief would overwhelm me, and why is this my life, right? And I had to kind of make this decision. Can I turn my grief into something that's actually positive? And then can I do something? Can I take my problem and actually not only help my own daughter, but help everyone else who's similar to her? And what gave me a lot of hope And what is really special about right now, this time in human history, is that we can fix single gene mutations. We were not able to do this 10 years ago even. We're just in an extraordinary time in science, and it's really hard for me to even convey that. We know the SMA story, and this girl that I have in the picture is a young girl with SMA. She lives in Florida, and you could see these children were passing away by the age of 2. She's obviously grasping life with everything she has now. The Angelman trial, we are already hearing that there's children that were not speaking that are now speaking. With Rett syndrome, we're hearing in their trials, children that were in wheelchairs are now able to stand. And so these mutations are getting fixed by gene therapies. And for me, that gave me a lot of hope. As an entrepreneur, as long as there was a way forward, I thought, all right, I can do something about it. So my story is I started with co-founding this foundation, and it was really finding the group of parents that could work together well. And you guys are so lucky you have this amazing foundation. You know, folks like Mike and Jackie and Dylan, this is best of class. Like, it's so incredible to have this kind of community that you can work together and do something. And for us, it's all about our children, right? We don't care about anything else. Now, FOXG1 is similar to Dup15q, but we're actually even smaller. And I call these group of diseases the missing middle, where we're not small enough to do an N of 1, where you can have like one patient get a CRISPR therapy, and we're not really big enough for pharma to be that excited, right? We're what I call the missing middle. For us, now we have about 1,200 patients globally. When Amara was diagnosed, it was at about 600 globally. So super small numbers, and that means that we, as a community, had to take matters into our own hands. So I just want to give you a sense of when I started the foundation in 2016, this is what we were looking at, all right? There's no treatments. There was no understanding of the biology, honestly. We had no collection of natural history. No one knew what the trajectory. If you asked anyone, hey, what's your kid going to be like in 5 years? No one knew. And we had $0 put behind research. So we decided to focus on what we call the 4 pillars of innovation. The first 2 are all around science. So we decided we're going to become the experts in our disease. And I tell this to all my parents. If someone asks you what chromosome the gene is on, you should know. If someone asks you how many exons is the gene, you should know. You got to know these things. We have to be excellent. We have to know more than our doctors and our scientists as parents, because it's a rare condition. We decided that, okay, maybe we don't have pharma, so we're going to do drug development. And then we focused on innovative data platforms. Collecting data is a pain, patient symptoms, it's a pain to collect it. My background was in tech, so I was able to bring that in, and we've created some really innovative platforms. And then, of course, supporting parents, and that's what these conferences are for. So 2018, this was our first scientific conference. It was at a larger neurology conference. We rented out a space for 2 hours. We literally begged scientists to come. On the podium, there is Sue Kyung Lee. She's actually a parent who happens to be a scientist. And her plea at that time was, hey, you know, FOXG1 is such an exciting gene. Don't you guys want to be a part of it? You know, that's how we started. By 2023, we had built enough credibility, we had raised enough money, we had funded scientists around the world, but we were actually able to open our own FOXG1 Center of Excellence in New York. So this is an entire lab with over 20 scientists, end-to-end dedicated to FOXG1. And I cannot tell you what it means to have your own lab. Working with different academic institutions is very time-consuming and very inefficient. We're basically running like a biotech company. We have our own end-to-end lab, and because of this, we were able to find our first groundbreaking gene therapy. Once we found that, we decided, all right, we're not gonna wait for pharma to come around and license this gene therapy. We're gonna just start our own biotech company within our foundation. So we hired someone from pharma, Dr. Guy Ayalon, who's been at Ultragenyx and Neumora and has run a lot of programs. We partnered with Charles River for manufacturing of our gene therapy. And we put together a really strong panel of experts. So we've got Dr. Eric Marsh at CHOP, who's our lead medical director. We've got Dr. Neil Kumar and Dr. Yael Weiss. I know Yael's going to be on a panel later, who basically are guiding us. And in fact, their teams, even at their companies, are guiding us. So we were able to create an affordable, flexible, virtual biotech company, and we are literally developing our own gene therapy. Okay, so the second part of drug development is patient data. And Neil told me this, he's one of our mentors, early on, that if you don't do anything else as a foundation, you do one thing, just get your natural history study going and make it strong. And I know this word natural history study probably gets thrown around a lot. You guys have had your ladder platform. There's a lot of stuff around patient data, and it seems like a pain. Just to explain what it means. All right, you want to think about the baseline of your disease, what your children are going through day to day. Understanding that is really important, because then when you have a treatment, you want to make sure that you could see a change, but you'll never be able to measure that change unless you have a strong baseline. And that's why we do all these things to collect data. Now, oh, I forgot this slide. There you go. Without the baseline, you can't develop treatments. Now, the beauty of this is all of us are interacting with the medical system all the time, right? Our kids are being seen by so many specialists. We're in and out of ER. There is so much information trapped in the medical record. So when I started this journey, we had a FOXG1 natural history study funded by the NIH. All of us had to take our kids into these different academic centers. It seemed hugely inefficient and really burdensome on families. So what I had thought about was, if all of our kids are already seeing so many doctors, why don't we just grab their medical records, extract information from those records, and see if we can build a natural history study? And that's what we have done with Citizen. So we were really lucky. I was really lucky that the Chan Zuckerberg Institute gave me a small grant. We were able to start this. We brought 4 foundations on board at that time. We got all our patients on. We collected everyone's medical records. We extracted the data. And then we were able to basically create 10 years of longitudinal data in 6 months. And that's how we realized, like, this is a breakthrough idea. This can really work. We can lower patient burden and get these natural history studies done. And I know you guys have just recently joined Citizen, and a lot of you are on the platform. So this just gives you an idea of what we were able to show for FOXG1 by genotype. What are the most important symptoms? How do we track seizures over time? What's the frequency of seizures? How do we track motor? And so all of this is what we're now using in our clinical trial as our baseline data. And that's what's enabled us to kickstart our trial and get really good feedback from the FDA. Okay, so while we were doing this, we also found some other information. So this beautiful graph that looks like a Picasso, what it basically shows is these are all the lines of treatment for seizures. So the different colors are the different drugs that people take, right? You start one drug, then you'll add another, you'll drop one. What we found, and this was mind-blowing to us, is that no 2 patients in our community had the same journey. That means there is no standard of care, even on epilepsy management, which is like all our kids are, we have seizures, and there is still no standard of care. It is phenomenal. And so this really showed us that we as a community actually have to help each other. Our clinicians they don't know the standard of care. And then we have to educate our clinicians on what we're seeing working for other patients. This is really critical. So now what we've done at Citizen, and some of you might see this if you've got your medical records, is we've launched the AI Advocate, where now you can actually ask questions to your child's medical records. This is great when you're seeing a new doctor. It's great when you need to get a summary to send to a new school or for your IEPs, et cetera. There's a million things that this can be used for. The real exciting thing, though, is what happens when you get a large enough community on the platform. Then you could start asking questions of other people's medical records. So for example, the other day, the majority of our community is on Citizen now. Amara started having a new type of seizure. I was able to go in and say, hey, she's having this type of seizure. Let me know what the medications that most kids with FOXG1 are on. What are their adverse effects? what are the key doctors that are like treating this kind of symptom, and I was able to get all of that information right away. So this is the power of how we can start helping each other, because unfortunately for rare diseases, we are kind of all we have. We have to help each other. And it's not that our clinicians don't care and aren't the most well-meaning of people, it's just each of them is working in their own isolated system, and healthcare in America is very fragmented, not to say around the world, it's extremely fragmented. So this is the power of everyone coming together. Okay, so basically all of our efforts within our foundation have led to, we are now taking our first gene therapy into clinical trials early next year. Again, we developed this from scratch, from day one. We didn't have a single mouse model, we didn't have a single cell line, we didn't have a single natural history study. We did all of this, and we've done it really within 8 years. We are a small community. You guys are a bigger community. You could do, I mean, honestly, Dup15q should have multiple drugs by now. You're a bigger community, you've been around longer, you can come together and you can do this. So again, summary, we have a gene therapy. We've actually launched our own FOXG1 Center of Excellence. We've had multiple science symposiums, tons of research published. But the key to all of this is that we raised $13 million. Unfortunately, you can't do anything without money. And you don't need a little money, you need a lot of money. So our goal by the end of next year is to raise about $30 million. And that will allow us to take our gene therapy all the way to the clinic and get to approval. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for 600 US families to raise and 600 international families to raise, but we are doing it, and all of you can do the same. But that is what it takes. All right, how do we raise money? We do it like our life depends on it. So no one in the world ever wakes up in the morning and says, God, I can't wait to fundraise today, okay? No one says that ever. Fundraising is the worst. I mean, I would rather stay up with my daughter all night dealing with seizures than fundraising. It is a horrible, horrible experience to go and ask people for money. I feel that. I also see all your faces. Everyone's exhausted. I get that. I feel you. I hear you. I have exhaustion in the core of my bones. But our kids deserve it. And you know, someone said something to me that really changed the game, which is, look, what we're doing is the worthiest of worthy causes. We have to do this. We don't have enough people supporting us. We have come together as, we're just normal families. Instead of just caring for our kids, we're also doing science. We're raising money. We're doing all this. And when we ask someone if they want to donate, we're actually giving them the opportunity to be a part of something really transformational and special. And that really changed it for me. And now I have a really worthy cause. And if I'm asking you to donate, I'm actually inviting you to be a part of my worthy cause. And that's been very helpful. Now we do 1,000 things. We do, and I know you guys do too with your walks and marathons. My co-founder wrote a book. We tried to start a fashion line, that was a bust. Like, we've tried all kinds of different things. The best thing that's worked for us is all of us looking through who we know, and it could be the CEO of your company, it could be someone that's in your city council. If you find a few people that are wealthy in your community and you draft a letter, you try to talk to them, they may say no the first time, you go back to them 6 months later, you go back to them 6 months later, eventually they're gonna give you a check. The next year they're gonna give you a better check because you've stayed in contact, you've told them about your progress. This is what we did at a global level, and this is how we've been able to raise the 13 million to date. And so can you. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna close up. We are all driving our own cures now. This has been the big transformation, especially over the last 5 years, that parents are driving the cures for our own children. Patient organizations are driving these cures. FOXG1 syndrome is not alone in this. There are so many other patient orgs doing exactly this, and we're faster than pharma. We don't care about profits. Our ROI is our children's lives, but it does require a group effort and everyone working together. You're so lucky you have a good science team. That is, I mean, I talk to foundations all the time. Many of them don't have a good science director. They don't have that put together. You guys have all the pieces. So and I know it's a pain, but when your board says, go sign up for a study, go do this, just do it. I know I get it. I am in your shoes. I have multiple kids. I get it. It's very hard. But this is what it takes, and you can get a drug, and you can get a drug very, very soon. So anyways, I hope you all come together and do this and know that we are all, as the rare disease community, one family. Our foundation's here for you. I know you guys are here for others, and hopefully we can change the course of these diseases that our children have. So thank you.